the town of God, on a strange one day.
Hey /x/all/out/ist here. I recently had a strange experience deep in the backcountry in the islands of Vermont. Be me, retard who never grew out of playing in the woods. Have good social life but suffer social burnout and like to kick back with a couple of beers or some liquor in the woods and have time to process my thoughts. Had a really stressful day at work, so I decide to go /out/ for a little solo trip. Buddy drives me to an abandoned campground in North Hero, Vermont, been abandoned for roughly a decade now. All that remains is a few fire pits and some clearings. The local cop occasionally drives by since it's a hotbed for local hooligans smoking reefer and touching butts. There is a ranger station that is only manned temporarily during the summer months for conservation purposes. We walk together for a good mile into the woods and I set up my hammock, pick is of it, in before one of you retards say it's too tight. I know, I loosened it before going to bed. Whip out the old bush axe and start cutting dead growth for firewood. Light a small fire, I brew some coffee and cook some rice and sausage. At this point it was 6/7 and it was starting to get late, so my buddy decides it's time to head back home since he works at 5 a.m. the following day. Thanks me for the coffee and the dinner and hikes back to the car. Start getting cozy, I play a YouTube video and sit in my little foldable chair and sip from my hip flask. Fuck yeah, this is what camping's about, warm fire, comfy sleeping arrangements, and nothing but my thoughts and the trees around me. Throw on some large pieces of deadwood and curl up in my sleeping bag. Carried by a gentle breeze and the wind whispering between the trees, I drift to sleep. Wake up, eyes open. I can't move. Hear a feminine voice say, "This is a nice spot you have here, how are you?" I can't move my arms or legs, I speak but my mouth doesn't move. What are you doing? This spot is occupied, please leave me. Hear a nonchalant response, okay, in the same voice. Can move again, move out of hammock and see there is nothing around. Figured I was sleeping, so I threw more logs on the fire and returned to sleep. Greater than 1 am starts raining, I stake my tarp and fall asleep like a baby. 3 am rolls around and I see what looks like a person at the foot of my hammock. Freak the fuck out and fall out my hammock. My heart pounding as I say hello and get no response. I'm panicked, something is really off and my body knows it. I spend the remainder of my night awake in my hammock uneasy. I leave at sunrise, pack up my shit and call my brother to pick me up. Was it my imagination, Anons, or do you think something visited me? I've camped many times and never have had this happen before.
Mosey on down to the Atomic Shaman Trading Post. We have t-shirts, decals, refrigerator magnets and other swag for sale. What better way to show your support for the show? Our merch can only be found on t.pub/lit/Atomic Shaman Trading Post.